Disclaimer.
The thoughts and opinions expressed by our guests are not necessarily the views of Tash, Becky, or Be Your Best You podcast.
Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to Be Your Best You with Tash and Becky, your go-to hangout for all things spiritual, subconscious, and downright magical. We're here to sprinkle a little mystical wisdom into your everyday life and help you level up your reality.
Picture this as your cosmic coffee date, where we chat about the unseen world, blend in some psychology vibes, and stir up the subconscious magic. Get ready to be the queen of your own reality, live a life that lights you up, and have a blast doing it.
So grab your latte or your tea and let's dive into another episode of Be Your Best You, where the mystical meets the mundane and your best life awaits.
Cheers to creating magic together.
Let's do this. Hi, lovely people.
Hi.
We just wanted to pop on before we get started on our episode to ask you if you would mind, if you haven't done so already, please could you rate and review our podcast? If you're not already, could you make sure that you're following us on Spotify, Apple, or any podcast player that you listen to us on, so you can make sure that you get notified every week when a new episode comes out. You never know when you might need to hear it. It could be perfect timing. And also, don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube as well. And if you watch us over there, don't forget to subscribe. Again, you'll get notified with all the new and latest episodes.
And also, don't forget to share with all your friends.
Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate all your support. We appreciate you listening to us every week. Thank you so much.
You.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Be Your Best You with Tash.
And Becky, the guest edition.
And today we have on the show Caren Crimble. What a joy.
What a joy. She's left us feeling all high vibrational, and hopefully you'll feel that too when you listen to her.
We have an interesting conversation. Actually, Caren describes her new healing modality that she's channeled through, which sounds really amazing. I'm going to give it a go. But then we go into her backstory, like her spiritual awakening and how she kind of got to the point that she is where she is now, where she's obviously highly psychic and able to kind of channel through a lot of gifts, and she's getting more gifts switched on every day, which is really cool. But anyway, we touch on aliens because that forms a part of her story, and we are so glad that this has come up because we've been wanting to broach this subject for a while on the podcast. So anyway, we hope you enjoy the episode. It's really fun, and Karen's been really open in sharing her story, which can be a bit scary sometimes.
Definitely.
So we hope you enjoy, and we hope you can take something away from this. And today we have on the show the amazing, funny Caren Crimble. Caren, welcome. Lovely to have you on.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. We're super excited to talk to you today. So before we get started and we dig into all the juicy details, can you just tell everyone a little bit about you, who you are, and what it is that you do?
Okay, so I'm Caren. I am 40-something. I am a healer, and I've come up through a very troubled background, which I've worked very hard to heal and fix. And using my backstory of chaos and drama and trauma, I've worked through those, healed those. I can now help people get through severe trauma because I've been through it and I've experienced the worst that you can imagine, and I'm the other side of it. So I know that healing is really important. So I can help people through their journeys of healing and unraveling of their trauma. So and that's from experience.
Yes, amazing. And I find like that's the story with a lot of healers, isn't it? They've kind of been through something, some kind of trauma or some kind of experience, and then they want to turn that and use that to help others, don't they? I hear that all the time, and I know that's kind of why I got into it as well. And I just think it's really powerful, isn't it? Because you can empathize with people, you understand them, you get them, don't you?
Yeah.
So, okay, so what healing do you do? What kind of healing is it? How do you help people through their traumas?
Okay, so I offer a few different types of healing. What actually brought me to healing, aside my traumatic life, I had a wonderful spiritual awakening, and it was absolutely glorious. And I was shown visions, and I wanted to know what my soul purpose was. And I was guided to be a healer. I was shown a vision of me healing someone. So I followed the leads And I found a beautiful healing teacher, and she taught me Rahani healing. Rahani is fifth dimensional frequency energy. You channel it down and you sort of work your magic through clients, removing negative energy and replacing it with positive. So that's the type of healing that I've been working with. In between, I've had a lot of spirit guides step in and sort of teach me other things. So I had a wonderful native Indian guide step in. So he's been helping me with my shamanic work and my practices and my drumming. So I offer sort of a shamanic drum journey. I have recently had a new modality channeled down. So I've called it Echoes of the Soul, and it's a beautiful modality where if you're feeling kind of stuck or heavy or like a stillness, and we all in our journey of spiritual awakening, do we have moments of stillness where we don't quite know what we're doing and we're just sort of sitting with it and letting whatever it is come down? I was in that stage for quite a long time. In fact, it started to be a bit painful. So it was like maybe 6 months of stillness. And then I had this healing sort of come down in a sort of download to me, where I could guide people through a journey where we find out what is affecting them most. So we all have an idea of what is affecting us, in our lives. Say, for example, I don't know, you're an anxious person and you want to release anxiety. Well, that's what we feel is the problem. This journey will take you up to your guides, and your guides will tell you what's affecting you most. So you might think anxiety is the problem, but it might be something related to anxiety that is actually needing and is the crux of what needs to be healed. So we work on what it is from a higher perspective, not from a personable experience. So you might have an idea of what you want to release, but spirit knows what is affecting you most, and we just release it. So we go through a guided meditation, we release whatever it is that you're feeling, and we bring in light energy to replace all those feelings. And it's been profound. There was one lady who I went to visit, actually, because she had such a bad back. She hadn't been out and about for years. In fact, she was really emotional. So when I got there, she was, I would say, a little bit broken. And so I ran her through the experience, and she was taken to a past life. And this lady, before I go into what she experienced, she was shuffling around her house. She couldn't walk. Her back was in agony, very emotional, very upset. I took her through the process, and in that moment, she was taken back to a past life where she lived in a beach in Cornwall. And all her life, she's been pulled to this beach in Cornwall, but didn't understand why. But what it was she actually lived on the beach, and she witnessed a shipwreck in a past life. And she managed to save some people out of the sea, but not all the people. So what she'd been doing, unbeknownst to her, is carrying a weight around on the shoulder of not saving these people. And so it was weighing heavy on her back, weighing heavy on her physicality. So once we released it, we finished the meditation. She sat up, she started walking around. She said, I just feel really light now. Like I feel really lifted. And this lady hadn't been driving around, which is why I went to her house. And that weekend, she sent me a message because I wanted to check in with her. And she's like, I'm driving to Winchester. So it is profound, like the changes that people go through. I had one lady come, and she couldn't even speak because she was crying so much. I couldn't even start the meditation because she was so emotional, because it is quite an emotional session. And when I took her through the process, she was abandoned as a baby in a past life. And again, because she wasn't aware of it, she couldn't heal it. So she was carrying around all these feelings of loneliness, abandonment, unwanted, unconfident, and releasing that. She now feels good because we're then bringing in that beautiful energy to make her feel better, and the opposite of what, how she was feeling. And she's walking around a happy, changed woman. So it really does have profound effects. But it's interesting what you think is going to come up versus what actually does come up.
Yeah.
Yes. Because do you find that people have preconceived ideas of what they're going to experience? Because does everyone go back to a past life?
No,
Or
no, it's completely open. We leave it up to your guide. So what I do is I guide you through a process where we bring your guides in, and your guides tell you what it is that you need to release. So another really good example, just to sort of build a picture in your mind, is I had a lady come, and she had an incident at school with her youngest child, and she just couldn't let go of the situation. So I just can't let go of it. And I just said, let it go. It's done. It's dealt with. No need to worry about it. She said, I can't let it go. She was anxious. She was not eating. She was really feeling sick. She came round, put her through the process. And then the anxiety was actually created and established with her first child. So she was taken back to this lifetime when she had her child, and something happened in her life which created this anxiety, which was triggered with her new child. So in that moment, we then healed the past with the previous child, and then it released her from the anxiety and the worry for the current situation. So it really does vary per person, but mostly people are going past life, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's so,
Oh, wow.
and I love that because it seems so similar, the results. I get it. I know that it works, and it works like that because of the QHHT sessions that I do. And it always blows my mind how certain kind of pains or conditions can just stem from something metaphorical and or literal like that, like your lady with the weight on her back. It was never about an actual injury or
Yeah.
something to do with the physical body. It's the energetic reasons, and our body holds patterns, not just pain, doesn't it? It's like, and we don't ever even think about that. And why would you? Like, why would you?
Wouldn't,
And even when someone like us who knows that's the case, if you don't know it, if it's not in your conscious mind, you're never going to guess why, I've got like a really painful elbow or something, or you're never going to know, are you? Which is why I love this kind of healing, because it just shows you. So I have a question, like, when people come to you, are they nervous? So I'm just thinking kind of from my perspective, like, even though I do this work and I help others do it all the time, as a client going in, I'm like, oh, what if I don't get anything? What if I don't see anything? Like,
Yeah.
so I'm just like my own worst client. So how do you manage that? Do people come in? Are they nervous that they're not going to experience anything? And what if they don't? Like, can the healing still be done?
Yeah, the healing still can be done. So so I've had a couple of people who are not spiritual at all, which is brilliant. It's always good to try your healing out on people that don't feel, don't see, don't whatever. And I had two men come, and they are not spiritual, they're not connected, they don't do any work. And so I wanted to test it out on someone who has no experience, because I wanted to see the results. And of course, they didn't visual because they don't visual because they're not there yet. But what they did experience was a sense of calm. So what that tells me is that they need more calm in their life. So then we release the chaos, we release the heaviness, we release the heavy energy, we release the opposite of what they're feeling. So everyone can experience something. But going back to that previous lady that I just mentioned, she was like, we couldn't start the meditation. And what I found really beautiful, because I'd never had this before, she was so anxious. She was crying all the way through the conversation at the beginning. She was crying through the beginning of the meditation. I thought, well, I can't do the meditation because she's too upset. And I thought, I wonder if I can bring in, like, because we, in our healing, we bring in this beautiful energy and we're channeling it down through us. I wonder if we can give courage. I wonder if we can give strength. So I said to her, we're just going to pause this for now. We're just going to stop this meditation. We're going to come back to it, but we're just going to bring in some energy. And so I was, with my intentions, begging for her to have confidence, trust, faith, just the feelings of that she can get through it, that she's safe, protected. So I was, everything I could, really hoping, because I wanted her to have this experience, because I knew she had a lot to release. And so it was wonderful to be able to channel courage, and that came through. And so once I finished healing, so I stopped the meditation, we did the healing, I brought in all this positive energy to her. She's like, I'm ready now. And the tears stopped, and then she was ready to continue. So I thought that was really beautiful as well. But so not only was it, she was really anxious about it, we could actually fix that, bring in beautiful energy, and then heal her. So yeah, she left feeling wonderful. And in fact, she's one of my regular clients now. She comes to my sound and my meditation nights. So yeah, she's a lovely lady. But I guess you could be nervous, but I'm a very safe space. I mentioned earlier about being traumatized when I was younger. If you've been through it, I probably have as well. And that doesn't come from I'm better, or I've experienced more, or, story topping. it comes from a place of real strength and understanding. I have been in the depths of hell, so I understand the feelings when you're there, and I can support you through love and encouragement and from a place of knowing. So, and that's really helpful. So not in my life would I ever thought I'm grateful for the experiences that I've been through, but I truly am. I'm really grateful for the trauma that I've been through, because it means that it opens me up to be able to support more people. So if you are nervous, if you are scared, there's no need to be, because you are in a safe space. Most people cry in my sessions. And for someone who's me, who's like quite high vibrational, you know, but that's what we're there for. We're there to get this out your system, get it out. Let's live our lives without all this trauma and heaviness weighing us down, because we should all be happy, healthy, functioning human beings without all this heaviness. And with the support and encouragement of a good healer, you can get all of this released and move on with your life. It's good.
It's amazing,
It
isn't it?
is. Do you see the energy, Caren, when you're doing
Yeah,
it?
I do. I've been,
do.
I can actually sometimes journey with you and I can see what you're seeing, but this is new to me. So this is something that I'm trying to bring in. But something else that's happened recently, because I keep getting all these weird gifts come in, weird and wonderful gifts. Like one of my quirky gifts is I can tell you when someone's died on a road, which is like a questionable gift. One of the other gifts I've been able to get, I know, my kids are like, can you stop being weird, Mum? When I'm like, oh, someone died here. Another gift that I've got is I've got the ability to see with my eyes. So if you are doing spiritual work, you will change colour to me. Not your aura, I can see auras, but I can see your spiritual, and your words turn colour for me. So depends on what someone's saying, I can see the colour of their words. I know it sounds really weird, but the colour of their word will tell me where in their body they need to release the feeling from. And this gift is growing, so it's a lovely growing gift. And now sometimes when you're talking, you'll have energy streaming out of your head. So I went to this meditation session the weekend, and there was a man there who just sort of comes along to support his wife, really. He's not really into it. And he was talking and all this purple energy was coming off him. It was absolutely beautiful. And he was saying, it's so strange. He said, all I could see was purple. And I thought, yeah, that's all I can see. So I'm very lucky that I've got all these beautiful gifts. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with it yet, but I could just know that the words, say, for example, if it's your words are purple, or the energy coming out of your mouth is purple, that's wisdom to me. That's knowledge. That's teacher wisdom. Often coming from your third eye. So yeah, it is beautiful. So yeah, so I can see the energy. I can feel the energy. It's very rare that I don't feel anything when I'm healing. I can always see or feel something.
That's fascinating. I've never heard that before.
No, I haven't.
But I think that's such a, I mean, people that have died on the road, questionable gift, but maybe it will come into its own use sometime.
Maybe.
But the words, like the colours, I wish I had that.
I would love
because that would be really helpful for the work that I do. And I wouldn't have even thought that could be a gift. I love this.
Do you know when it came in, because obviously, it just came in all of a sudden. I was in Avebury and I was with a group of girls, and one of the girls touched a stone and she turned green, right? And I was thinking, like, is everything all right? I was like, can you just go like, I thought maybe it's a reflection of the light, but she had gone completely green. She said, oh, I'm really feeling this beautiful energy of, I can't remember what she said now, but I was like, yeah, you've turned green. And she was like, I don't feel sick. I'm like, no, but it's an energetic green. And that was the beginning of it. And then I was doing this channeling group. So it was like, it was, what's it called? Psychic surgery. So it's psychic surgery, you're channeling all this stuff. And my friend would speak light language and it would be coming out as purple. So the colours of your words are coming out. And what I've learned, it's fascinating, because obviously I've been trying to work out the gift and how to use it. It's a bit like if you have the ability to hear, which is another gift you can have, you have to tune your frequency up to hear different beings. So say, for example, you're trying to hear a spirit guide, you tune your frequency up. It's the same with your eyes. You just get a different lens over your eyes. So Like the other day, I was at my friend's house, right? She's got this absolutely crazy dog. I've never met a dog like it. I have never, and I mean it. And I love dogs. I've had dogs all my life, but this dog is insane. And I was trying to work, and so in my head, I'm thinking, what is wrong with her dog? Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's a puppy, it's not been traumatized or whatever. And the dog turned blue, right? And I'm thinking, oh God, it's gone blue. So when I looked up later, blue was the colour of anxiety, stress, worry. And so, because I'd questioned in my mind, what is wrong with this dog? The lens come in, the lens that I need to see the energy behind my questions. So yeah, it's quite a weird one, work in progress, obviously. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's but I've always been able to see with my eyes. Like, I see the grids in the sky, so I'm quite lucky that I do see with my eyes, but it seems to be more of a change in your frequency. So when you change your frequency, when you're doing something spiritually, I will see that.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I could talk about that
I
all day, but I feel like
know.
I'm just fascinated by that, and I think
Teach us.
it's teach us. But I feel like, I suppose I'm really interested in that, because it's really interesting, because you're having to teach yourself. You're having these things kind of come into you, and then you have to figure them out for yourself, which is it's fun, but it must be like quite a lot sometimes, mustn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's not a problem, because nothing is a problem. But if I ask other people, what does seeing colours mean? Everyone's got a different version of what seeing colours is. So actually, I need to sit with myself. What does this colour mean? So then I spent a bit of time, and I was at a training session on Tuesday, past life session training with this shaman that I work with, and we're all sat round. Everyone's heads had turned purple, so we're all on the same frequency. We're all talking about the same thing, and I thought it's brilliant. We all turned purple all at the same time. So, but yeah, it is like, you do think, oh, have I got something in me? It's like I'm seeing colours, but it is real and it's happening. But yeah, what's going to come with that, I don't know. It's exciting though.
Did you have it, Caren, as a child? Could you see?
I was very
colours?
gifted as a child. So me and my sisters, we were born knowing. I was a psychic as a child. It was shut down. So I'm raised with two sisters. I've got an older sister and a younger sister. My older sister was born into the world knowing that she died in a fire. So she was 3. She remembered dying in a fire. So she was just like, this is not my parents. This is not my parents at all. And she used to get really upset. I want my mum. I want my mum. I want my real mum. And my mum would be like, I'm your mum. No, you're not. I want my old mum. My younger sister, she was very psychic. And then I came in and was very psychic. So I would know conversations before they happened. I would know news events when they happened. And it was shut down. You know, don't talk like that. That's not right. That's not real. You're imagining it. It's just your imagination. My mum went to the library to deprogram us, and she got us the book called This Is Just Your Imagination. So I know. So we were shut down from an early age. But the psychic never really went away. And what is interesting is, although I wasn't, you know, on the path of spirituality, I always knew I had a spirit guide. I didn't actually know what that meant. I knew I had a spirit guide because every time my life wouldn't go in one particular direction, I would have almost like ghostly encounters. The sheets would be pulled off my bed, pictures would be moved, all that sort of stuff, as if to say, take notice, you're going in the wrong direction, like a real telling off without the telling off. And when I've learned light language, not recently, like, you know, 5 years ago, I realised that when me and my sisters were younger, we made up a language. It wasn't a made up language. It was light language. So we used to speak to each other in light language, and we used to speak to each other telepathically as well. So I would know how my sister was feeling because I'd be able to tap into her. And once she got knocked off a bike, I knew before it happened. So I chased her into the road because I knew that she had been run over, even though I did, because I just knew. So yeah, I've always been gifted, but just not really used it until recently. And I think the very starting of my spiritual journey was probably 10 years ago, but I just wasn't ready. and I was sat at home. I'm a single parent. I've been a single parent for years, and it's lonely at night time. So I thought, what can I do to keep myself entertained in the night time? And I thought, oh, I'll read tarot. Very easy. And I started doing tarot at home, and I predicted my granddad's death. Because everyone's like, oh, the death card isn't always death. It's not always death. It's the ending and beginnings. However, it did mean death in this occasion. And the next day, my granddad died, and I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, I'm not doing this. So I put the cards down, tidied them away, and I just walked away from it. So it's been calling to me all my life. And then luckily I had this wonderful spiritual awakening in 2020 when COVID came, and I was questioning everything. And then I decided to meditate, to remain calm, because chaos was happening around me. And as soon as I meditated, I started having visions. But I wasn't just having visions, I was taken back to past lives and shown what happened, who I was, who I'd been. Then I was taken forward, shown future, what's going to happen, what's coming up, important things in my family. My hearing switched on, my vision switched on. It was all just a lot. And I could astro travel, which I didn't realize was a thing as well. So yeah, I was really lucky that when I started my awakening, it wasn't just a gentle, gradual journey. It was like, bam, here you are, wake up.
Gosh, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a lot, isn't it? And I think it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. Like, well, I mean, the thing is, but like you said, even though you have had, it's been knocking on your door your whole life, hasn't it? So you've been kind of been used to it. But yeah, it's just, so when you had your spiritual awakening, how did that did that literally just start from meditating? That's how it kind of like, what sparked it off?
Well, I'm going to sound insane, but I'm just going to rock with it. So it actually started with a regular UFO. So I've seen UFOs all my life, everywhere I go since day one. Again, that was something else calling me in, but I didn't notice. So UFOs have always been something that has been prevalent in my life. So almost every night you'll find me out in the garden looking up. So it started with a regular craft that was coming, and it would send a signal in my ear. So I'd know the craft would be outside, and then I would go outside and we'd have this sort of weird, like, oh, there's a craft again. It's just told me. But I didn't really know what that meant. And I didn't know why it was telling me it was outside. So that was happening. COVID was happening, there's just some things around COVID I didn't resonate with. And I started to question that. This craft was coming every night. I started to feel like I was losing my mind because I was questioning COVID. I was questioning this craft. I didn't know why the craft was coming, but it was almost like we had a relationship. Like the craft would come outside, it would let me know. I'd go outside, I'd sort of look up, acknowledge it was there, take a few pictures, and once it had enough of me taking pictures, it would send out twinkly lights. I mean, it was a really weird relationship. And then because of COVID, the children were off. And like I said, I'm a single mum, so it's hard work. They didn't want to do their school work. So I thought, oh, do you know what, sod this, I'm going to meditate because I can't cope, because I was having this craft come in and I was questioning my sanity because I was questioning COVID, and everyone around me was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you questioning things? Just take what you're believing. And I was just like, I can't. I have to go with what I believe in. And so that's when I started to meditate. And then when I meditated, I started having visions. So it was like the most ungrounding thing I've ever done, because I was like, I remain all calm when I meditate. And it obviously didn't make me calm at all, because before I knew it, I was seeing and feeling and knowing and just hearing and like insane stuff. So in the early days of me meditating, I was having archangels come in and teach me how to remote view. I mean, I didn't even know I didn't even know you could vision when you meditate. I thought you meditate just to get silence. But yeah, I'm very lucky that I've got a lot of gifts, and yeah, I'm working with them. But in going back to the craft, because it does continue, I started to feel like I was losing my mind. I started to get my neighbours out. Do you believe in crafts? Can you come and have a look at it? Can you check in? Can you check that? I know, because I actually thought I was going mad. So I had people coming out. They also could see it, and they've got pictures of it. So I wasn't going mad. It wasn't in my head. I then decided to see one day, the craft came and let me know, and I was taking pictures, and then all of a sudden, like normally, it would send these twinkly lights out. These twinkly lights then started coming on the roof of my house. Back then I wasn't fully awake, so I didn't really know what I was dealing with. These lights were coming all in the back garden, and they were going all down the roof of my house. But in particular, they were around my boys' window. Now, my children are very gifted as well. That's another story, another time. But they are very gifted, and they were all around my boy. The lights were all around my boys' window, and I freaked out. I thought, oh my God, they're going to take me. I mean, I've been up in the craft loads of times, but I freaked out. I came running in, and in that moment, I thought, I wonder if I can meditate into this. So I went in my bed. I meditated into the craft. I managed to get on the craft, and in front of me were two grey beings. The first time I'd seen grey beings that I recall. I couldn't work out. I was just sat in this meditation. These two greys were looking at me, and I was just thinking, what is going on? I suddenly come out of my meditation. I woke up freezing, and I could hear my boy giving it, "Mum, I'm cold." The electric surged in the house, and I thought, I'm not making this up. This is something in this. I settled him back down, and then I realised with time I could communicate with the beings on the craft, and then it's just been a weird journey since then.
So you got two separate things going on there, really, then, haven't you? Because the alien craft thing is like something. I know it's all connected, but it is something separate, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, so with the grey beings, because I've heard a lot about, greys, and I can't make out whether they're like good, bad, neutral. What was your experience of them?
So I've met many different beings from all over the universe, and the greys are, they're like us. All these star beings, all these beings from around the universe are just like us. You got your good and bad everywhere. And let's be honest, the higher up in frequency you are, the higher up in dimension you are, you come from a loving space. Yeah. So it's only the lower vibrational beings that aren't of the light that, have ill intent. And actually, even when you think about beings with ill intent, like the greys, yes, greys are known for abducting people, but that's already agreed at soul contract. So before you come into this earth, you've decided that that's what you're going to experience in this lifetime. So we say, they're coming to abduct us, but that was already agreed. It was already agreed with our government. It was already agreed with the people that are taking part of it. It's just when it happens and you're not fully awake, that's when it becomes a bit of an issue. So but the journey with the crafts, I mean, it's been incredible. I've been up so many different times. I've been in med beds. I've been in different healing chambers. I've met beings shaped like vehicles. I've met beings that are awful looking, but they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. When you see something so scary, but the frequency coming out of them is love. And it just made me realise we're not to judge based on appearances.
Yeah, and we so do that as humans, don't we? Anything that doesn't look like us, or anything that looks like scary, because and what is scary, I believe it's what we've been programmed to see as scary in movies and all stuff like that. But I'm fascinated by the aliens and that whole thing. Like, I don't even like calling them aliens, because I'm like, well, we're aliens as well to someone, aren't we? But and I think it's got like this context around it that makes people think, oh, aliens. But like, I'm fascinated by it, and I have been like drawn, like we've spoken about this for a long time, I've been kind of like really drawn to that side of things. And I'm losing my train of thought now, because I was saying that, but what was I going to say? But well, I suppose like what I want to know is, when you're meeting all of these alien beings, when you've kind of met them all, what is the purpose? Are they trying to teach you? Are they trying to get you to do something? Are they trying to help you? Like, why are they making contact with you?
Well, that interesting question, because it was the beginning of my journey, and I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. I didn't even know it was a thing. So I sought out help. I went to see a teacher who, and I say I'm doing that teacher because we're all our own teachers. We don't actually need a teacher, and there's no higher or lower. We just are all the same. We're all on different stages of our awakening. That is all. So anyway, I sought help from this teacher because I was like, I need help. I want to know why this craft was coming. And unfortunately, she wasn't of the light, and she gave me some false information, and off I went with this false information, and I went down a very weird road. I ended up meeting some people that weren't of the light. I was told to use the energy of the craft to heal, which I was doing, luckily just on friends and family, and it's always for the highest good, but still, I shouldn't have. But I think what I was being taught was to check in all the information that you're told with yourself. So we go and seek these help from people that we believe are more advanced than us, or they know more stuff than us. But until you check it back in with yourself, it's just someone else's opinion. It's no different to having a conversation about football, you know? You've got to check all the information with yourself. So yes, I met a few dodgy teachers along the way. But actually I learned discernment in that. I learned to know, like, I don't ever take what someone tells me as gospel. So if someone will say to me, oh, you were this in a past life, I go, all right, thank you. And when I meditate in the evening, I check that information out with myself, because I'm the only one who really knows my story. So, I learned discernment in that. The craft was coming. The craft was coming to wake me up. You know, I'm not of this earth. I have the ability to travel on and off a craft. I'm not the only one. There's loads of people that can do it. It is a frequency thing. The higher frequency you are, the more able you are to jump on and off these craft. I remember when I started really understanding why they were coming, and that I could go around these crafts. Most of it was for healing. So I'd go up and they would put me in a med bed and they would heal me. They would teach me different things. But most of all, it was just to let me know that there is more to what we're seeing than what we're seeing. I still communicate with the crafts. I still have a relationship with them, but it's not as strong as it used to be. But I'm telling you, every night I will see a craft. Every single night. Even like last night, I was so excited. I thought I saw one in the sky and it was this flashing one. So I got my camera out, chuffed as nuts, because I haven't managed to capture one on film for ages. My daughter comes home. I'm like, oh, I've caught something on camera. I didn't press the record button, so I just had a picture of this time. But I keep all my pictures. I keep everything. So everything I'm talking about, I have evidence of pictures and everything. And honestly, the picture, I have this absolutely wonderful picture of a craft. So it started off as a craft, and these crafts can shift. They shape shift, right? So I was watching this craft in the sky, and it shape shift into what looks like a being. And so I've got this picture of this being flying through the sky. Like, absolutely blows your mind. But so when I talk about things, it's all evidenced with pictures and all like journals and everything else, because you do feel like you're losing your mind when you start talking about star beings and galactic beings and all the rest of it. But it is part of my journey, and I'm really grateful that it has been. One more thing on the crafts, and then I'll let it go. But we a while ago, I was in my other house, and in the sky, it was a clear sky, but this dark cloud came over, and it was the only cloud in the sky, right? And I could see the lights behind it. And I thought, that's a cloaked craft, that is. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if I can communicate with it. So off I go, back in meditation. I'm like, who's this? We're the Actorians. I'm like, well, what are you doing here? And they were saying, we're here to raise the consciousness of the planet and let people know we're here. And I'm like, why'd you cloak then? And they said, we cloak because we can't be too scary. People are terrified of star beings. They're terrified that these aliens are going to come and take over the planet. They've been here for eons, probably here before us. So they're trying to raise the consciousness of the planet. They're letting people know that they're here, which is probably why the skies are being sprayed more, because there is lots of activity going on in the sky at night time, and I'm always watching with bated breath. But I absolutely love my connection. But really, I think it is the reason they come in the first place is just to say, look, you're not from here. This is what you can. This is look how amazing, look how wonderful your soul is. You know, like we can do all these wonderful things, like like traveling with your soul. Like, you can be laid in your bed, and every night I'm floating around the consciousness. I'm going to different places. I'm going to the Crystal Palace. I'm going to see my star family. I'm going to see my spirit guides. You know, I had no idea that was a thing. And so my life is crazy now. I'm very comfortable in my crazy. And I really don't care what people think about it, because it's my story. And like I said, along the journey, there's been so many people saying, oh, this is in your mind, it's your imagination, you've made this up. I was even told by another teacher that I sought help from that it was an attachment that I had. So this attachment was making me see things. And so for a long period of time, I went through a very dark period of questioning everything that I'd experienced, because I was like, oh my God, like, is it in my head? Is it made up? Was it an attachment? And I did ayahuasca. And my spirit guide, because one of my spirit guides is a lyran, which is a lion being. So they are like a lion person. And my lyran guide came in and told me everything I experienced is real, and that I don't need to justify my experience to anyone else because only I experienced it. Bob down the road isn't going to understand my journey because it's not for him to understand. My journey's for me to understand. So it was really wonderful, and it really just made me feel comfortable, because I really did start, when you go through a journey like I have, you do question your sanity, and it wouldn't be right not to question your sanity. But it is just part of my galactic connection to star beings. So, yeah.
I love that. And also it's so funny because I was just about to say, when you said, oh, and one last thing about the crafts, I was just going to say it before you said that about a cloud. Now I have seen this cloud. I'm not joking. It's in the same spot. It appears in the same spot just behind my house, and I notice it when I'm driving back down the road to get to my house, and then it just happens to be in the exact place between that I have a gap in my garden between a house and a tree, and it looks like a brain. Like, it's really distinctive. I know it's the same cloud. It looks like a brain with a brain stem. I'm like, it's there again. That cloud's there, and I feel sure it's a craft. Like,
have you taken pictures? If you take a picture and you zoom in to the picture, that is when you can see the outline of the craft. You can see the lights, and so it's no longer a cloud; it's a craft, but it's cloaked. But disclosure's happening. They are coming. They are making themselves known. The skies are more active than they've ever been. I saw this wonderful craft the other day. I was so excited about it but again, I didn't have my camera. It literally flew through the sky and went through a portal. And I was like, oh, that would have been a good one to capture on camera. So they are here. They're prevalent. They're letting themselves known. I don't think they want people to be scared of them, is what they're trying to say. That's their ultimate message, is that we're already here. We're already here.
Yeah. And I know, because we were saying, weren't we? We've, like, Bex and I have been outside of the podcast been discussing about aliens and our own kind of journey with galactic beings, however you want to call it, for a while. But we've still been like, oh, did we talk about it on the podcast? Like, how do we put such stigma around it? But I totally agree with you. 5 years ago, when people kind of the galactic stuff and the alien stuff came into my awareness, we spoke about it, and I was like, just not ready for that yet.
Us.
It's not for us yet. But then, like, fast forward 2 years, and all of a sudden, bam, it was just everywhere for us. And it was just really funny, like, through meditation, or just how I get my guidance through. I was like, I'm definitely connected, as Beck, I'm connected to the Syrians. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. There's something. It's the Syrians. And then we were having it everywhere, and then I would have readings and people would say, did you know you're connected to the Syrians? I'm like, yeah, I do, funnily enough. But also the Lyrans for me too, which is interesting, because when I did, like, I was doing some, like, channeling stuff with a friend, and she was like, I can see you as a Lyran. I'm like, I can see him right now too. It's like, so another part of me, like another part of my soul, is a Lyran, like a huge Lyran, like, commander type thing. And, like, I don't talk about it a lot because it sounds mental, but I actually don't care anymore because it's my journey. Like you, Caren, like, in all seriousness, when these things happen, you do learn discernment, don't you? It's such a great lesson to learn. And the benefit of learning discernment is that when something feels right to you. So even if it's, like, totally wacky, totally crazy, and you're thinking, I've lost the plot, you can't ignore that feeling where you're like, this means something. And I trust that. I go with that. I don't feel like I need to make sense of it, and I don't feel like I have to justify it to anyone or even talk about it to people if I don't want to. But I know that it's real, and I just kind of get led, and it always leads to good things. Like, anything to do with galactic beings or aliens is just beautiful energy. It's such a loving, especially the Lyrans, I think. There's something about the Lyrans that's very, very loving, like such big heart energy, and it just feels so nice.
Mm.
And I'm good with that.
That's what you've got to feel. If they feel good, then they're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's the feeling, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So are we all connected to all these different alien beings, and that is why they keep visiting the Earth, and they're very interested in us and helping us to raise the
Wow.
vibration?
Well. I think some people are not from other planets. I do think people are. Some people.
Right.
I mean, I can go very weird with it, so I'm trying to keep it sensible. Some people. Some people are aren't connected to their soul. Some people are here just to have a human experience. Some people have souls, and our souls are old. Our souls is what comes into our body. It's our souls that leave our body when we're done, and it's our souls that keep coming back to Earth. And my soul goes back. I'm a very, very old soul, and I knew that years ago. And I've been working with the magic of my soul and where I come from. And I knew that I was first wave. I knew that I was one of the first people to come on the planet. And I go all the way back to the God King. So I go way, way back. But I knew that because I'm old. I'm not in spirit. In my human form, I'm very immature because I just believe we're here to have fun. This life shouldn't be as serious as it is. But what we do is we take our trauma, we make a big story of it, we carry it around with us. Oh my God, I'm this victim. And we're not. We've just experienced something that we've already asked to experience. So the journey of our souls is incredible. And I've forgotten the question, sorry.
Are we? I was just
Are we
saying, are we all
connected?
connected?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We are connected because this is our family. This is our soul family. Like I say, we have this soul. We come from a dimension that is not of this earthly dimension is quite heavy. It's quite dense. So our soul comes from a higher frequency. We come down into our bodies and we forget who we are. So our soul family is reminding us, hello, we're here. You're not from here. Don't get too comfortable on Earth because it's not going to last forever. And we're here to learn lessons. This is a school. We're here to learn. We're here to develop ourselves. We're here to grow our souls, because when you're in a higher frequency, all you have is love. So all you're experiencing is love. Well, when we come to Earth, we experience awful things, hate, we experience like jealousy, we experience anger, we experience all these things, which, to us is like, oh, it's horrible. But actually, as a soul level, we're like, we want to try something different than love. So that's why we come down. So our soul family is just there to remind us that we're just not this human versions of ourselves.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I also think, and I think you touched on it earlier, I think that they're like the different beings are coming and showing themselves to us now, because I also believe that this is a school, but and we're here to learn lessons, but I also think we're here to remember who we are, and they come back to help us remember who we are, because we are of them, we are the same things. And then that's when you can start realizing your potential and unlocking your gifts and stuff. And I would always say, like, if you don't have a connection to star beings, that's cool, don't worry about it, but you don't have to like judge anyone else who does, but just stay open, because you never know when it might become all of a sudden become relevant to you, and that could be part of your spiritual journey and unlocking your gifts and delivering healing or whatever you're here to do on the planet as well.
One of the ladies that came for the Echoes of the Soul healing, we've become quite friendly. She comes regularly to our sound bath. She's an older lady, she's 60 something, but we really get on. And I said to her, let me try this healing, and she was taken straight up to the planet that she came from, and she was like, oh my God, I'm not from this planet. And I was like, welcome to my world. And so in that moment, she was really, really surprised that she wasn't of this earth, and she was taken all this way up to her star home family, and she was shown the love that she felt in that moment, and that she wasn't from here. So it can be a shock to some people. And like I say,
Yeah,
if I think of not my old self 10 years ago and the stuff that I come out with now, I would never been saying this stuff like those years
Oh
ago.
God, I know. Me
I was
neither.
so
I'd have never
concerned.
died.
Yeah, I was so concerned and consumed with trauma and what people thought of me. Like, oh, I can't say this just in case someone thinks this. Like, I literally don't care what people think about me, because all it matters is that I'm a good person. I'm being kind. I come from a loving space always. And it's my journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're like helping people as well with these gifts that are coming through. So yeah, thank you for sharing that story, because I feel like I'm like, we finally got the alien thing out now. It's done. Like,
We knew it was
yeah,
Caren to help us with that one.
Well, the thing is that in the mainstream media, they're talking about it now. So what is interesting is, give it 10 years ago, if you would have said, oh, I saw a craft in the sky, they would have said, you're a conspiracy theorist. And so you were mocked for your belief. You were told, you quieten down. What you're seeing isn't real, even though you see it with your own eyes. And now what they're talking about on mainstream media are actually there is aliens. They have made communication. There are crafts that come in. Oh, and they've shot one down. So,
but yeah, somehow it doesn't
But it
ever
just-
make main news, does it? It's just
No.
kind of pushed to the side. They
it
put
is
out
on
there, but
main
then it's
news
like,
now.
yeah.
It is on main
No.
news. Yeah.
Oh no, I know, but what I mean is, it's like, why aren't then people talking about
Yeah,
it?
they
It's
just
almost
say
like,
it and then on to the next thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
that's it.
like, hello, can we just
Oh,
go back
no.
to the alien thing, please? Thank you. But yeah, like you said, it's definitely becoming more mainstream. More people are opening up to believe in it. And if you don't believe it, or if you think people that do believe it are crazy, yeah, that's your decision.
Yeah.
But we're just not.
Yeah.
It is just, that's the journey, isn't it? And that's the trauma work. I think that's the trauma work is going to help you get to the point where you can say, I don't care what people think of me, and I trust myself, and I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to go shine out there and do my healing despite what people think of me.
Yeah.
And your life gets better.
It
when
does.
you do.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely does. Yeah. Amazing. Oh, Caren, this has been awesome. Awesome. Can you just quickly tell everybody, because I know you do that, the Echoes of the Soul healing, and you've got your sound bath. Tell just a little bit about your sound baths and your meditations.
Oh, okay. Well, I created a meditation night because I kind of feel like our industry is getting quite heavy with sound baths and meditation nights. Quite a lot going on. But what I feel the world was missing was an opportunity to mingle. So the meditation nights that I run, I've left like a gap at the end for communication, to meet like-minded souls, because the journey can be quite lonely. Until you're like, where, get to the comfortable stage where you're like, communicate with starbeings, you don't know where you are, and you haven't got any friends because you don't want to talk to your current friends about it because they think you're crazy and all the rest of it. So you look for people that are like-minded. So when you go to these meditation nights, you can meet like-minded souls that are questioning things. They're trying to tap in. So I don't just do meditation, I do spiritual meditation, which is different. So I am helping you connect to the other side. I'm helping you have a connection. And then my plan with my meditation nights is that I'm slowly bringing you through a very light spiritual awakening via the meditations. So I'm doing 6 monthly sessions, starting with I started with grounding. So we did a really good grounding meditation. I'll be doing some chakra work, some cleansing, releasing, and then I'm going to get you connected and calling in your being. So it's a progressive meditation session, and a space at the end for cake and conversation. I mean, what's not to like?
Cake.
But I really feel like with some of the events, and I've been to loads of events, you go and say have a sound session, you finish, time to go home. There's no time to sit there and talk to your friends because the person's clearing up, they're tidying up the hall. So I really feel like the gap in the market is a safe space to have these weird conversations where you're not judged and you're in a safe space. So I've been running them regularly. I'm running the next one, I think it's, let me just see, the 23rd of October, 7:00. It's a nice little group. I think I had 8 people there last time. I did have 5 people cancel, so I'm hoping the numbers will increase. But, like with most things, just keep showing up and things happen, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. And I quite like the idea of like a small group meditation thing as well. It's like
Definitely.
that feels more intimate as well.
And when you're going to something like that and there's the same faces regular, you feel safer. You're building up a relationship. So this is what I've started with the meditation. I hope to grow. I hope to make it something different. But for now, I want to get people that are questioning things, people that maybe have a chaotic mind, that haven't taken that time to actually quieten their mind. Because what I find is that people are so busy doing, you're doing this, you're doing that. Oh, I've got to be doing this, I've got to be doing that. I've got kids, they're not taking time for themselves. And so in my journey of healing and releasing all the trauma, what started my realizing how important it is to spend time with yourself and by yourself and for yourself is that someone said to me once, you need to give yourself an hour a week. No, it started off 10 minutes a week, for you. And I was like, I haven't got time for that. They're like, what, you haven't got 10 minutes in a week? And I was like, no, I don't. I'm a single mum. And so they forced us it was a domestic violence program to help you get out of a pattern of abuse. And they said to me, you need to start taking the 10 minutes. And each week you had to report in what you did in the 10 minutes. And then eventually, as this course progressed, it got to an hour. And I was like, oh my God, I've got an hour. Well, an hour? What, we haven't got an hour for ourselves in a 24-hour period? When I say it now, I think it's insane. Because I think the most important thing I learned is, how can you pour from an empty cup? How can you pour from an empty cup? Right. So for me, I'm a crazy busy mum. I say crazy busy still as well. But I have what? If I don't honour myself and give myself an hour, how can I be the best version of myself for my children? How can I be the best person showing up for everyone? What, when I don't honour myself? Like, I am the most important person in my journey. Yes, I'm a mother and I've got children. I love my children, but they're also on their own little journey. I'm here to support them in it, So looking after yourself first, taking time for yourself, quietening the mind, not doing, being, because we're human beings. We are here to be present with ourselves, turn in, and you'll find you've got this whole universe. In fact, meditation has changed my life. It is, and I don't say that lightly. So the power of meditation, the power of going in, and now in my stance, I personally believe that everything around us, bar people and our relationships, is a distraction from you turning in. Everything. So once you start turning in and you see who you are and where you come from and your actual true story of yourself, it changes your existence. So meditation is really important, and it's been a massive part of my journey, and I really recommend it. So yeah, once a month I run these meditation sessions. I run a sound bath with my friend Leanne. We do that once a month as well, in the same place at 7:00. The next sound bath is the 7th of October, which is Tuesday next week. And that's great because me and Leanne's got a lovely relationship, and the sound is always, it's always positive feedback. We always get people really happy, and, the release that they go through in that journey as well is incredible. But yeah, so not only do I do this Echoes of the Soul, I do chakra balancing, cord cutting, drum journeys, sound healing, one-to-one support, which I can help you through releasing trauma, bringing in more love to your life. Yeah, a bit of everything. Whatever you need help with, I can help you with. If I can't, I know someone who can.
Yeah, I love that. That's brilliant. And we'll put all your details in the show notes. So if anyone wants to find you, they'll be able to find all your treatments and energy healings there. I want to go do an Echoes of the Soul.
Oh, doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah.
It's lovely. And what's even cooler is in my new house. So I recently went on a bit of a journey myself. I was made homeless. I've been gifted a house, and in this house I've got a room for my healing. So I was manifesting so hard, like, please let me have a room to heal. Please let me have a room to heal. And up pops this house with a little spare room for me to do my healing, so I can actually work from home. So yeah, I'm so blessed. Honestly, I feel so honoured in my journey, and I feel so lucky. I could even cry about it because I feel so blessed. Like, I'm so lucky to have this side of me open and be able to help people the way that I do.
Yeah. Oh, bless you, Caren. So amazing.
I know.
It's been so awesome to talk to you. Thank you so much for being so open and for sharing everything. And yeah, everyone go, if you're in the Southampton area, you need to go find Caren and do an Echoes of the Soul journey. And if you do, come onto our group and let us know. I'm going to go do one, and then I'll cover it and I'll let you know what happens with mine. Yeah, Caren, thank you so much. It's been an absolute
Thanks
pleasure.
for having me, ladies. It's so nice to be on a show with you guys. Thank you.
Right, guys, that's it for another episode. We'll be back next time. Take care. See you later. Bye.
Bye.